Hi Capricorn, I hope you're doing well, and this is going to be your June reading. Now, this reading is going to have two portions. The first one is going to be astrology, the second one is going to be tarot. Now, I really needed to make the astrological portion because we are going to have two eclipses, guys. Three actually, one of them in July, but I really wanted to emphasize on these two eclipses because they're so important, they're so life-changing for most of us. Okay, now this portion, the astrological one, would be really good for Capricorn rising people. Okay, of course Sun Capricorn can still watch it, can take something out of it, can leave something out of it, but at the same time I believe that this works better for Capricorn ascendants. Okay guys, so the first eclipse, lunar eclipse, which is a time of culmination, is going to happen in the sign of Sagittarius in your 12th house. That's an interesting time. I have my own experience with a lunar eclipse in the 12th house, and I can tell you that it's definitely a very significant. Okay, what does 12th house rule? Endings. Any endings, any kind of sometimes painful endings, sometimes just endings. It's the last house in the zodiac. Everything is coming to completion there. So to be honest with you, it's really hard to say exactly what is going to end in the 12th house for you, because there could be so many different things. Now for me, since 12th house is also foreign places, faraway countries, and immigration and things like that. When I had my eclipse there, I finally got my immigration stuff in order. I finally completed my immigration process and I got my documents. So, you know, this could be that time where you are finally ending something, finally completing something, whether it's paperwork or maybe a bad habit. Also with the 12th house, it's really good to quit smoking, to quit any kind of bad habits that some of us have. You could receive a very supporting influence from this lunar eclipse to quit some kind of a bad habit, something that you know is not good for you, but it's very hard for you to quit any other day. Now this could be a really good time. What else can complete? You know, some fears can come up from the past, and unfortunately it's just a part of the 12th house. You know, it is about our fears, it is about paranoia that we may have, and you could kind of face them again, but in a way where you will be getting rid of them once and for all. You will be letting go of these fears, letting go of these painful situations, especially when they're connected to your past. When you go back to your past in your mind, when you start thinking about the past, when all these negative situations from the past kind of come back to you, this is a good time with this lunar eclipse to finally let go of those memories, to finally let go of that pain. 12th house is also a house of sacrifice. Okay, so maybe somebody will ask you for help around lunar eclipse, and it could catch you off guard, since we are going to be receiving a pretty intense influence from Mars. Okay, unfortunately this eclipse is not just going to be very smooth, it's going to be a little bit shaky because of the aggressive Mars. But you could be caught off guard at first when somebody does ask you for help, and instead of doing your own routine, doing something for yourself, you could go ahead and help that person, sacrifice something for that person, just so they can fix their situation. So, like I said, you know, 12th house is it's a very uncertain house. There are so many things there hidden that it's going to be very hard to really predict what exactly ends for you there. But prepare for a big ending. Okay, prepare for a big completion, I want to say. Another thing I wanted to mention about the 12th house is it is about isolation in a way. Sometimes isolation that is voluntary, sometimes not. So for example, if you've been alone for a very long time, whether you mean it by single life, where you've been alone without a partner for a while, or maybe that you've been feeling lonely, you know, maybe no friends, no connections, a lot of people are misunderstanding you, that's how you feel, right? Again, culmination in the 12th house could bring you the end to loneliness, the end to some kind of isolation. If you have a sickness or a disease that maybe you couldn't treat for a very long time, again, this is a time to something is going to complete there, okay? And now on 21st of June, we're going to have a solar eclipse. So that's a new beginning in the 7th house for you. And again, you know, for single people, I feel like maybe I could connect these two, because 12th house is kind of like loneliness, you know, and 7th house is a partnership. And when one part of the chart is culminated, right, 12th house loneliness, and there is a new beginning, a new spark, a new moon, right, in the house of partnership, maybe this could indicate for that for those that are lonely, or consider themselves lonely, at least, or single right now, could actually meet someone that could become their long-term partner. This type of partnership could be very karmic, could be very significant in your life. It comes with lessons, it comes with a lot of significance. It's something long-term as well. And since it's in the sign of Cancer, you know, maybe you could start feeling a little bit more emotional towards the end of the month, a little bit more nurturing possibly to your friends, to your romantic partners, to even family, really. You know, everybody could fall in 7th house. So this could also be a new contract that comes around, new contract to sign. Now be careful signing it at the end of the month, like I believe, you know, after June 18th, it's weird how planets are situated this time around. You know, it's like one door opens, but then you're not necessarily, you're not able to walk in right away. You know, when Mercury goes retrograde by the end of the month, it's not recommended to sign any new contracts or new agreements. However, you will be able to see them with this solar eclipse. You will be able to do research on them and really think whether or not you need these contracts in your life. And of course, this could be about new relationships, like I said, on the business front and romantic front. You know, this could also be maybe some kind of information that you're going to find out about somebody in your circle, just like the lunar eclipse in the 12th house, where maybe some hidden information could come out and you could finally find out, right? Same for the 7th house, maybe some information, some news could come around about somebody else to you. So these are the energies for June. Very, very interesting. But let's do a tarot spread and see how these eclipses can affect you from tarot perspective. So Capricorn, what can Capricorn expect to happen in June 2020? Let's see. Oh my gosh. Wow. The Devil is at the bottom of the deck, and since the Devil is Capricorn in tarot, but I don't really want to interpret it this way. Yes, of course, I could say that you're going to come to your senses, you're going to feel like yourself finally in June, and you could, right? But the Devil, let's say that, I mean, let's be real, Devil does rule fears and temptations and attachments and addictions and all of those things. And again, if you do have some kind of bad habits, some kind of addictions, you are able to finally let go of them with the lunar eclipse in your 12th house. Okay, by the way, this portion of the reading is for any Capricorn. Doesn't matter. The first one is preferable for Capricorn rising. But yes, this particular energy could be reminding you what kind of fears you have, reminding you what you need to change about your lifestyle. This could just be following you around until you actually end it, or until something triggers the end of these things. But the first card we have here is 8 of Cups, which is so applicable to what I just said. You know, 8 of Cups is walking away from something that doesn't serve you anymore. And since you're gonna have an ending in the house of endings, something is definitely being left behind. And with 8 of Cups, this isn't a heartbreak, like a heartbreaking situation where you have to walk away from something and you are kind of dreading this process. No, you know, 8 of Cups is a final decision. 8 of Cups is a very mature decision. Yes, I don't need this anymore. I'm leaving it behind. So why is 8 of Cups here? Leaving it behind with success so you can heal finally. Guys, that's so cute. The star, you know, the star is about healing. The star is about new horizons. It's about wishes and dreams and new goals and just a beautiful future, looking out into the future, while 6 of Wands is a victory, it's success. So whatever you're completing in the month of June, you're going to complete it with success. And not only that, you're also going to open new doors for yourself to move forward into a better future, into a greater future. Now, moving towards the middle of the month, we have Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles could be hesitation to act on something. For example, maybe you got in your comfort zone again, you know, once you let go of something, and maybe you don't feel like it's time to take big actions yet. And maybe it's not, you know, with all the retrograde planets, but at the same time, Four of Pentacles would indicate that you could actually consider something. You're researching it in June. You're not quite acting on it yet, but you're thinking about it. You're taking it into consideration. You are kind of working on it in silence, okay? Okay, why is Four of Pentacles here? No, you're definitely working on something here, absolutely. You do have Eight of Pentacles and Knight of Wands here. And with Knight of Wands, you know, this could be some inspiration that comes around, motivation that comes around. And even though, again, maybe you may not act on it right in June, like in the middle of June, but it's something exciting to you, something that you know that you're going to have, something that you know you're going to work on. And Eight of Pentacles, building something, and it's definitely more energy added, more ambition. Maybe again you're going to meet a person, you're going to meet a connection here, and I just got King of Wands here, who is very motivating, who is very ambitious, who kind of lights a spark in you, and you almost like want to either be like them or be on the same level as them, and they're motivating you. You know, it could be, like I said, romantic, or it could be business, or it could be maybe just a friend that you might meet, but it's definitely about, you know, planning how you're going to act in the near future. Again, maybe not necessarily acting quite yet, but having a plan set up, how you're gonna go about certain situations. And also, this is not another person here, you know, Knight of Wands, King of Wands here. This could indicate possibly that you are going to be feeling this way. You're going to have a lot of fire in you. You're going to want to conquer new lands and, you know, do all these new things. And yeah, maybe you are not too active physically yet in June, but you definitely have some sort of a strategy for the future. And we're ending the spread with Ace of Swords. Now, Ace of Swords could represent a contract, okay? So again, be mindful if you're signing anything, because Mercury is going retrograde. But with Ace of Swords, it's also about clarity and truth. And one of these eclipses is going to be happening in the sign of Sagittarius, and Sagittarius rules truth. So it could be the month of truth. It could be a month of insights and clarity and new ideas, new like epiphanies almost. And Ace of Swords could also be the conversation that you may finally have with someone. Maybe you couldn't work things out before, and now with Ace of Swords you can finally try and communicate your issues to this person, or maybe come to some kind of an agreement with a person. So why is Ace of Swords here? And again, yeah, Knight of Swords is here. It's a conflicting situation that you're going to try and resolve, because you want to move on from it. You want to finally shift from it, and it's bothering you here. Knight of Swords, Five of Swords. So this could be, again, maybe coming back to discuss something, coming back to sort issues out with someone. It could be very verbal by the end of the month. Let's just put it that way. Ace of Swords, Knight of Swords, Five of Swords. Be careful not to be impulsive, because around these eclipses it's not recommended to argue with someone, with anyone, to fight, okay? Because once something is done during the eclipse, it kind of stays permanently. It's really hard to make up later on. It's really hard to reconcile later on. So just be mindful of that, okay? But if you are going back to an old issue to reconcile, to fix these issues, to kind of try to understand each other better, then it's a good time, because then you can finally shift from it. Six of Swords, you can move on from it into a better future. Beautiful, beautiful spread, guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. Good luck, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye.